Hi. I actually managed to learn how to turn this thing on at the proper time. So, hello to everyone that's out there and those that are going to be watching this on recording. So, you're part of that energy with us here already. So, what we're planning on doing this evening is taking a look at the Leo new moon and also looking at the houses. So, this will also be a really nice review for people who aren't that familiar with the houses. And if you do not know a lot of astrology, I want to say right away, not to worry, that what we're going to do is everybody usually knows their sun sign. So treat your sun sign like it's going to be the ascendant for whenever I talk about the ascendant and the houses. So that'll be your sun sign because if nothing else, the sun is in that particular area of your chart. And it does have an effect on where the Leo energy is at. So first of all, as we're waiting for people to come in, so I know this is a live, but I do want to thank some incredibly wonderful ladies out there who are my spiritual view team, who I think all of them showed up today. So I'm very fortunate to be involved in such, yeah, they're all here, in such a great group. So I do want to say that anybody that's interested, we do some free readings on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And usually we talk a little bit at the very beginning, and then we just use astrology or tarot or numerology or all of the above and pick people that are currently watching and get to do their readings. So I want to make sure I mention that because a lot of people have found that really, really helpful. So, so let's get started. I want to start with the new moon in Leo. So let us take a look at the chart for that. And we will go to here and share. Okay, perfect. So what we have is we have the new moon right here at 12 degrees 34 minutes in Leo. And what's significant about this is that it's going to be in a very nice sextile to this Jupiter Mars energy. As a matter of fact, this 1254 would land right in the middle of this 957 and this 1501 time. Basically, what that means is that that it's sextile energy. It's like a good friend that's going to help you out with something. And that is the energy of the sextile, but you do have to do something to activate that energy. And the thing I really like about this particular energy here is that with Gemini and Mars and Jupiter, it's going to be very easy to use really good communication skills, especially when you have all of that Leo creativity energy, writing of any kind of art that you want to create. Gemini is all about curiosity, anything new you want to learn. Certainly, this is going to be a new moon you can set that intention for learning something new and learning something that you're passionate about, because Mars will help give you the energy to carry that through. We do have with this energy also, we also have Venus at 29 degrees of Leo. And that is a nice energy because when you have that, anytime any planets are in the same sign, it does give energy to what's going on elsewhere, even if it's out of what they say is orb. But because Venus in there and because you have Vesta there, what really matters to you, that is the asteroid goddess Vesta, and that is what you're really passionate about. So there's very nice energy in here for you to pursue what you really, really love. Let me go ahead and stop sharing here for a moment. Okay. And I'm back. So hopefully you got to see everything. And what I want to start with is this Leo new moon is going to happen at 7:13 a.m. Eastern on August 4th. And you can set your intentions anytime within 48 hours of the actual new moon. Usually what they say is you set the intention and then you wait for the next phase of the moon after that 48 hours is done, then to take action. But starting with that new moon energy, anytime immediately after it has actually perfected, so wait until after that 7:13 a.m. time Eastern in order to set your intentions. So using that energy sometime Sunday morning would be a perfect time to set your intentions for what you're doing with this Leo energy. Now, what does Leo have for attributes that you want to really work on? It's creativity, it's generosity, it's celebration and fun and dignity and determination. And I think also the way that you express your personal love for someone and giving and receiving that love. I think, and that's a beautiful energy of Leo. And one of the things that also it's about children and that inner child in yourself and being able to bring that out. So that's one of those really interesting things that you can utilize with this energy, especially since we're getting that from Gemini with Jupiter and Mars, is that you can set journaling ideas out for yourself. You can learn how to communicate. You can intend to communicate better with your children, with your family, with those around you. I think also the fact that you can think about, what do I really love to do? Do I want to get out there and start something new, like exercise or something like that? It's about having fun when you do it. This should be all about fun. The sun is the ruler of Leo. It doesn't have a better time anyplace else. I think it has a little fun in Aries, but really this is the place. This is that energy of that strong creativity. To me, it's the most creative sign that there is, and full of love. Very, very full of love. So I think that what we will do is go ahead and go on with taking a look at some of the other things that it will bring out. We do have, because you always have the positive and negative aspects to anything that's out there, planets and signs and houses. One of the things that you might think about is, what don't I like about some of the Leo attributes? Am I too arrogant about some things? Do I need to tone that down a little bit? I think those are also something that you can use when you are doing a full moon release for Leo, releasing some of those things about yourself that you might be, okay, overly dramatic, very extravagant. Those things show up as a Leo energy. So I think that that is something that you can think about as far as intention setting. But if you're looking to release some of the lower vibrational things of Leo, you can, in a sense, but it's also a good time to do those during full moons. So I would say that's something that you need to think about as well. So what is some more positive things about Leo? Leadership. I think it is the most natural leader that there is, because they will be out front. You want to be with someone that is out front with you, that you will follow because you love that person, right? And that they have no fear and they believe in going forward, and they do it from the heart. It's such a heart connection with Leo. So let's take a look at the other things of Leo. When you're talking about health areas of Leo, it's very connected to the back and the spine, and also to the heart, of course, and inflammations. So if you're thinking about healing any of those things that Leo might have rulership over, then you can set up an intention to find the right healer, learn the right exercise, find the right diet, do activity that promotes health, and especially heart health, and anything that can be fun. If you don't like to run, but you love to swim, go swimming. If you don't like harder core things, walking. Walking in the woods is a beautiful Leo energy of moving around and just enjoying life. Leo is about enjoying life and having fun. So I want to go to the houses. So we're going to start with the houses, and I know people have specific degrees and aspects, but what I will say is let's see if we can't answer some of those questions, specifically about personal ones. If you can kind of see about if going to the live on Friday, and then if you happen to come up, then I can look at those personal things for you. Also, you can book with any of the ladies as well as me. But I would say that I will answer some general questions after we get done going through the houses. But the aspects are going to be a little hard for me to look up since this is a very general reading. But don't forget the free readings on Fridays and Mondays, because I really like doing that myself. So the very first house, let's say Leo is your ascendant, right? Or your sun sign, if you don't know what your ascendant is. Also, this works for whole house and Placidus. If it's Placidus, I would pay attention to the degree of the actual new moon and where that degree falls in the houses, because the houses will still work no matter what system. So let's take a look. The first house, this is the house of self. This is the house of the body. This is a great house to set goals about your personal health, your anything personal in your life, especially your physical body. And you can do that by talking about what you enjoy doing, what you want to incorporate into your life on a daily level. And don't forget, we have that sextile to Gemini. So anything new that you want to learn, anything new that you want to bring into your life, it's a new moon. And especially if it's something that you really, really love to do. So the first house is all about you and your physical body. So think of those things in the Leo, things that we already discussed about loving yourself more, those kind of energies. How can I show love to others, and how can I fill my own cup up? Because it's very much about your inner child being a Leo. Let's take a look. What would if you had a Cancer ascendant, then it would be Leo would be your second house. Cancer sun or Cancer ascendant would have Leo as the second house. This is your house of resources. This is your house of money. It doesn't have to be just about money. It can also be your self-worth, the things that you believe in. That's very much second house things. So you believe in that sense of love and joy, and you show that in the ways that you spend money. So that's one of the things that I would caution you, if you have Leo in the second house and you're a Cancer ascendant or sun, is that can go to extravagance if you have Leo in that house. So just a word of caution that that's something that can happen. And that's something that you need to maybe set intentions for. I want to easily find myself using the things that I have to hand and not spend extravagant amounts of money to purchase things. And the other thing about resources is it can be the people that can help you, right? It can be about people who have a connection to someone that can help you in your career, something like that. It is definitely a money house, and it's definitely your money. So that's the strongest thing I could probably say about the second house. But when it's Leo, it's also your self-worth in that house. And I think that Leos need to learn, if you have Leo in that house, that you need to fill your own energy up, filling up your own cup, filling up your own resources with that energy. So it's great for also setting intentions regarding abundance and joy in your life, having that sense of abundance, because again, it's not just about money, right? Oh, there you go. Nova Star. Is that Wendy? Yeah, it's very interesting. And accepting and saying to yourself, I'm going to be accepting all forms of abundance into my life for that second house intention. I am able to enjoy life because I know it will meet all my expectations, right? There's different things that you can set as intentions for that. And usually I would say, if you're setting intentions, I usually would say, up to 9, at least 2 and up to 9. I use the book by Jan Spiller. Yeah, Jan Spiller is the go-to book that I use for intention setting. New Moon Intentions is the name of the book. She has passed on, but she has just these fabulous references that we can use. So what else? Oh, I will work with others to bring better resources into all of our lives, right? So this, if you have that as your second house, that can include your family and coworkers and things, as well as we'll move on to the third house, which would be if your ascendant or sun is Gemini, then the third house would be Leo for you. And that is about your own personal business. So if you wanted to start a new business, if you wanted to do something new in the community, it governs merchants and transportation. It covers autos. If you're thinking about getting a different vehicle, you can set the intention of finding a vehicle at the price that you want to pay and in good shape. Those are the intentions that you can use for that third house. It's also about education. It's local communities. And especially since we have that nice energy to Gemini, you can really use that for communication as well. So it can be a great way for you to, how can I communicate better about my business? So I want to set intentions to find easier ways for me to communicate about my business, and then have other people come into your life with that. I want to find local friends, neighbors, businessmen that will help me with my business. I want to easily find that. Those are the things that you can bring in to all of that energy. And that's the third house energy. That is also short trips. So if you want to kind of go on a trip and you want to set an intention to, have a weekend away or something, you can do that. I think you'll find that this energy, because it's so strong in this Leo energy, anything that might involve love or romance as well for that weekend getaway is something that you can intend sometime in the next 6 months, that you want to be able to do that, because we have new moon now. And in 6 months, we will have the full moon in Leo, when we should reach the culmination of what our intentions are. So, short trips, relaxing. Oh, learning new things. And again, we've got a great sextile to work with in Gemini. So learning something new. Do you want to learn astrology? Do you want to learn numerology? Do you want to learn Spanish? You can set those intentions as to, I want to easily accomplish this task, right? So I want to go to the next house. So if you have Taurus as your ascendant or as your sun, it's about ancestors. It's about parents. It's about property. It's about receiving maybe the intention of, I want to find a better apartment to live in. I want to find some of my family history. I want to go back into that area and find what my roots are. What did I inherit from my ancestors? I think it's also you can also set that with parents. If you are, I want to ease, because we all have issues with our parents. I don't care how perfect they were. We all have issues with our parents. So I will say that this is a time that you can use that communication skill that Gemini has and say, I want to intend to have better communication with my parents. That's something that you can do with this new moon, because it's about love. It's about how you show love, how you receive love. So I would say that is a great, great area for the fourth house. Ancestors, personal property, your home, where you live, your dwelling, all of those things. Or if you want to upgrade the inside of your home, to make things more comfortable for you, because Leo does like comfort. So if you want to get this really cushy, comfy chair that you feel like you are a queen or a king in. Good thing to think about. Let's go on to Aries. And Aries would be if you have Leo in your 5th house. So Aries ascendant, Aries sun sign. For you, this would be the 5th house of joy, of love, of sex, of hobbies, any kind of your passions, any children of the mind. There was a very famous children's writer that she had a lot of very, I think it was, yeah, she had a lot of very strong energy in her 5th house. Well, she wrote children's books. And that can show up when you are working a lot with children, that might show up in that house. Also, if you are creating something artistically, that would be something that would come in that house as well, especially since it's Leo and that creativity is like crazy, whether it's mental creativity, whether it's physical creativity, any kind of art form, photography, any of those things would be wonderful in that house, or just finding enjoyment, finding a great place to vacation or a staycation. What are the local things around me that I can enjoy? Setting those intentions. I want to find something joyful every day. That's setting an intention. And that's something that, especially with that sense of joy, with that 5th house that you can utilize, I think that would be a really exceptional use of your time, because we all need to keep ourselves on that higher level vibration. So, and Leo being Leo, you can set that for any area, whatever that you're setting the intention for, you want to do it with joy and love and eagerness and, childlike delight, right? So let's go on to the 6th house. You would have Leo in the 6th house if you have a Pisces ascendant, or if you don't know your ascendant, a Pisces sun, right? So what is the 6th house? It is the house of health. It is the house of daily habits. If you want to set a really good daily habit or intention, the people that you work with on a daily basis, work that you do daily. A lot of times when you're looking at things like when I look at somebody's career information, I look at the 2nd and the 6th and the 10th. Those are the first places that I look as to what they're doing and how they can enjoy it. The 6th house also is what else is going on a daily basis for you. And it can also be people that you are maybe a supervisor over, or someone who works for you in some capacity or another. If you have someone that is a cleaning lady for you or something, or you want to get one, that's where you could set that intention in that 6th house. We will start talking a little bit now about the axis of the houses, because when you'll understand them a little bit better when we start getting into the 7th houses and on. The 6th house and the 12th house. The 6th house is about your physical health, and the 12th house is about your mental health, as well as some other things. But I wanted you to see how the axis works separately on those houses. Hopefully you're learning a lot about the houses as well as you're learning about this new moon. So the 7th house. The 7th house would be if you had an Aquarius ascendant or an Aquarius sun. And the 7th house is about one-on-one relationships. A lot of times it will be the marriage partner is signified in that house. And that's usually the first thing that people think about. But really, it's any one-on-one relationship, because the 1st house is you. And the house directly across from it is the other. So it can be a partner, it can be a friend, it can be a known enemy, because it's a relationship that you have with one other person. It's the energy field that you have between the two of you. So that's the 7th house. So you can set intentions for loving relationships, loving communication with that 7th house energy. Also, This is also the house of clients. If you have one-on-one clients, this also is that house where you can say, I want to have great relationships with my clients. I want to set that intention. I want to set the intention for seeing lots of clients and feeling that each one gets their special recognition, right? So I really think that when you're looking at that one-on-one, also don't forget that can be contracts with other people. If you are signing something, sometimes you'll have things show up in that house if you're going into a new job. That may be where you'll have activity in that house when you may be offered a new position, comparing it to other areas of your chart. Okay, let's go to the 8th house. That would be if you were ruled if your rulership is Capricorn, and that would be Saturn. So Capricorn would be in your 1st house, and then the 8th house would be Leo. Now, the 8th house is a little tougher to get your finger on. The 8th and the 12th are both kind of unseen houses, as they say, where the 2nd house is about your money, your resources. The 8th house is about other people's money, other people's resources. So you can set intentions about, I really want to get a loan for this new house that I want to buy. So you can set an intention for that 8th house. It's also the house of death and rebirth. There's a lot of people that I know that are hospice workers and nurses that might have a lot of energy in that 8th house. So usually when I see that someone has a very active 8th house, I will try and find out how that's being activated in their chart. The other thing is the things that we don't talk about. It's a very taboo area. We don't talk about how much money we make. We don't talk about sex. We don't talk about what really is going on in our marriage, because that's a very secretive house. It's a house of secrets. And it's also a spiritual house. There's a lot of people that maybe will be able to have spiritual connection in that house. There's also people that have spiritual gifts in that house. So it covers a lot of different areas. And I think that when you think about the jobs that you do, you can be an accountant because you're handling other people's money. You can be a mortician because you're dealing with death, or you can be a nurse who maybe is working in hospice. So that area, you can maybe set intentions for what you want out of other people's resources. I want to make good connections with people. It's also the house of taxes, inheritance, anything to do with, if you get a rebate back from somebody else, like whether it's the government or whether it's some company, that is an 8th house thing. It's other people's money until it's yours, right? So that is great energy for the 8th house. Again, it's hard to, there's so many wide variety of things that can be that you can set intentions for. But I think one of the things is having access to be able to utilize resources from other people in your life. So I think that's a good place to end with that one. Now, if you have Sagittarius as your sun or your ascendant, you can have Leo as your 9th house. This will be fun because I like the 9th house and the 5th house. Some of my favorite places to be is utilizing the 9th house energies and the 5th house energies, because it's all about fun and joy and travel. So the 9th house is about long distance travel. If you want to take a long trip, if you're setting an intention, and Leo loving everything about the trip. And that's what you should do. You should love everything about what you're doing when you're setting intention to go long distance or fly or go to a foreign country. And also it's about higher education. It's about legal matters. It's about law, what you believe. It's very connected to spirituality, because it's considered the house of the temple in long ago days. And so many spiritual things can come out of the ninth house. But I've seen it a lot of times where when I'm talking to someone, and depending upon their age, I'm like, are you considering going back to school? Are you? So that can be an intention that you set with that Leo, this is what I love. This is what I want to learn. It's also a house of publishing. So there's a great amount of things that you can utilize this now ninth house for, and they're all good, right? So I think that's a great way to generate energy of Leo into that house, because Leo loves everything about, I think, the ninth house and the fifth house. So we're going to go into Scorpio being the sun or the ascendant, and that would be in the 10th house. That is your house of career. Oh, let me backtrack just a second. Local travel is the 3rd house. The 9th house is long distance travel. Local, long distance, foreign. So I just wanted to give that extra little comparison between those two houses. Now, back to the 10th house of career. What do you want to do as far as the setting intentions in your career? I want to really enjoy the career that I'm in. I want to find a place that I can work with people that I really communicate well with. I want to increase my communication with the people at work, again, because we have that nice connection with the sextile in Gemini with Mars and Jupiter, which is either Mars can be a problem, but it can also be what drives you forward. And Jupiter is a benefic planet. It expands, but you're in that area of Gemini. You're in that area of learning, of communicating, all of those things. Wendy's the 9th house Leo. Isn't it fun? It's fun. It's fun. So the 10th house, what you are known for in the world. Maybe you don't really care, you did your job, you're kind of done, but you make the world's best chocolate chip cookies, and that's what you're known for. What can you do that you really enjoy, that is, love for you, right? What area can you connect with other people on? Because I think that's what we're getting with this help of this Gemini energy, is we're able to connect now with this communication that Leo and Gemini are holding hands with. They're doing each other favors, right? It's somebody that's helping you. So I think people will find that if you're asking for help with a particular house and want to make things better going on in that intention that you're setting for the house, bring the intention of someone else helping you in with it, because I think that's going to be happening. So the 10th house, life's purpose. That is also something that you can look at with what your north node is and where your MC is. If you use whole sign houses, your MC may not be in the same house as your 10th house. If you use other systems, it's the beginning of your 10th house. So that's a very good energy for you to work with. So let's go to, if Libra were your sun or your rising sign, that would make Leo your 11th house of friends, of luck, of connections, of the internet, communication to a wider audience, networking with other people. So this would be an opportunity for you to expand your horizons. What are you interested in doing? And what connections maybe do you have in Leo with any other area of your chart? If you have something that has a nice trine or sextile in your natal chart naturally, then I think you'll find that this is a good time to set intentions for finding those connections that will help you move forward in whatever area that you want to increase for yourself. Intention setting. I think that we're all on a higher timeline. And I love that this is Leo in the 11th house, because with that Leo friendship and energy, you will get a lot of help from your friends. They love you, or else they wouldn't be around. They love you, you love them, and it's just like a mutual love fest. So this is a perfect time. And as I'm just saying, as we go, as we go out into the things that are going to be challenging for us in the next couple of years, having good relationships, having people that you can connect with is it's everything. Truly, it's everything. It makes you limitless, because if you have a friend that can help you go do something, or you can help them go do something, the connections that you make with people, you would be surprised. You would be surprised at what you can accomplish just by networking with other people and being mutual exchange of energy. That's really an important part of that 11th house. Okay, we come to the 12th house. Now, you would have Leo in the 12th house if you have Virgo as an ascendant, or if you don't know your ascendant, as a sun sign. So what is the 12th house about? Again, it's one of the hidden houses. So it would be about house of exile, hospitals, prisons, retreats, isolation. It's also spirituality, house of hidden things, things that you don't see coming, mental health, isolation. It's like prisons, hospitals, retreats, ashrams, spiritual house. But a lot of times, if you have connections in that 12th house, it can also be unseen enemies. So if you want to set intentions to eliminate that, or increase your, because you're going to have Gemini would be your 11th house. I would say utilize that energy of working with other people, and use that for some of that energy. I know people who had activated 12th house things going on, and they went to like amazing retreats and really connected with themselves at a very personal level. And sometimes the 12th house is you want to be alone, you want to heal. It's the house of endings. Sometimes people are activated in the 12th house when they're going through a divorce. I was in the 12th house when I was going through a divorce. So there's things that can be activated. There are other things about divorce that can show up in other areas of the chart, but the 12th house is about endings. So you could have some kind of ending coming up based on what other things are going on in your chart. So really setting intentions is about you setting out what you want to have show up in your life in this next 6 months, something that you want to bring in with joy because it's Leo, with creativity because it's Leo. And I would say the only thing that I would be cautious of is, you can let your light shine, but don't outshine everything else around you. The extravagant nature of Leo, because they are so caring and so giving, that sometimes they overgive to their own detriment. So those are the things I think that you can utilize when you're using this new moon energy. So does anybody have any general questions about setting intentions or any of the houses? If you have questions about the houses, I'd be happy to answer any of those. And would somebody from the spiritual view please put a link in for the live that we're doing on Friday, so that if people want a chance to get a reading from one of us in one modality or another, if you could just put that out there for me, please. I would love that. So let's take a look. Anybody have any questions? No? Okay, I will show you. Let me share this image, because I think this will help you, and everybody can take a picture of it with their phone. Okay, so let's go to this particular screen, and we are going to use this image. Okay. As you can see, I actually picked this up from Google, and this was one of them that I actually liked the best for the amount of information it showed for each of the houses. So again, the first house, identity, approach to life. Second house, money, work, income, daily routines, material possessions. Third house, communication, mind, siblings, social activity, interests, neighbors, and early education. Fourth house, home, roots, family, self-care, emotions, foundations. Also, it very much is about women and femininity, but I have really found that this is very strongly related to your ancestors. So those kind of roots that go deep, where you're from, right? That is that kind of energy. The fifth house, romance, love, affairs. Yeah, it is kind of the house of affairs. Play, creativity, fertility, self-expression, and joy. Sixth, health, fitness, pets. I forgot to mention pets. So if you have an intention regarding a pet and Leo is your sixth house, that's a good intention to set. Service given as well. It's also a house of service. So the seventh house, again, the one-on-one relationships, contracts, equality, sharing. This is a one-on-one relationship with someone who is an equal, right? And the eighth house, merging. So it is sometimes the merging of your assets with your partner's assets, finances, taxes, loans, joint ventures, goals, mystery. Yeah, because it's very strongly associated with Scorpio energy. And ninth house, like I said, this is one of my favorite. This is more my Aquarius is. So I'm loving that Pluto is going to be like keeping me busy for the next 20 years. Travel, wisdom, philosophy, higher education, law and religion, cross-cultural relations, learning and ethics. 10th house, long-term goals, structure, status, reputation, public image. Also, fathers, men, that representation. I will look at someone's chart, and if I see, sometimes what I see in a 10th and a 4th house, if some things are talking to me, I might say that someone had to grow up sooner than they wanted to because they were the responsible one because they have strong energy in this 4th house. So they were at an early age, maybe more responsible for things that were going on in the home. Let's look at 11th house, groups, friends. It's also politics, actually. Humanitarian, the H word there, technology, hopes, and wishes, and the future. And here, the 12th house, endings, healing, closure, solitude, old age, what's hidden, limiting beliefs, and definitely the subconscious. So I'll stop sharing and go back to StreamYard. Okay. All right. So perfect. My 5th house, and I'm supposed to set intentions until if my Leo's in my 5th house, you're supposed to set intentions with the new moon, and then it will be fulfilled, Sabrina, by that moon in 6 months. So, you can always give yourself permission to have fun. Hello, Sabrina, you have my permission to always go out and have fun whenever. Because for us people that are setting intentions and higher vibration, it's how you manifest things is being in that fun and joyful thing that Leo is very, very much about, right? So set it with the new moon, set intentions with this new moon on Sunday. And then you have especially something specific that you can go, you'll see the culmination of this in 6 months. So since this is July, that'll probably run into January, I would say. Well, could be the end of December because of tomorrow is August 1st. So does that make sense? I hope. My limits because Saturn is also there. You know what? It's if you have Saturn in that 5th house, you need to give yourself permission to enjoy things, because Saturn has a tendency to kind of hold back. And it can be something that delays things. So if there's something that you really want and it's a fifth house modality, like I want to go on a vacation or something, Saturn can be a problem there. I think that there's workarounds for that, because I think if you're intention setting and you're doing like manifestation, which is what intention setting is, that it's so hard. It is, but it's a learning process, and you will get the hang of it more and more. Starting with the moons, I think that's a great way to start, because you can really see that energy. And then when you do the new moon ceremony, I always believe that you should have a beginning to setting intentions, like lighting a candle, and then do whatever you want to set intentions. If you want to write them down and where you want to put them, and how you want to either store them or release them, it's all up to you. And then once you're finished doing that, then you blow out the candle like you're blowing out a birthday cake, right? I am making a wish. I am intending this to happen. And then it's like putting you in your order with the universe, and then don't think about it. That is manifestation 101. You put your order in, you know that it's coming. And then you just go on with your life, because Archangel Michael's out there arranging stuff for us, right? And you will be surprised when you look. I have a tendency with mine, I set my intentions and then I go because I use the astrology calendar. So then I actually jump 6 months out to the astrology calendar and I write on the page what my intentions were. And I have come back and gone, oh, I guess that is this full moon. Okay, so let me look at that. Oh, more stuff came through than I thought, right? So that is something that's really, really fun. I've got 12 degrees Saturn in Gemini. Oh, yeah. Yes, Learn Love Tarot. I would say because you have Mars there, and because you have your natal Saturn there, and with and that is your 12 degree. Yeah, perfect. What you can do is set long-term intentions. So Gemini is your 11th, Saturn and Gemini, the 11th house. Okay, so that would make your Leo your first house. Leo Ascendant, right? I'm sorry. Duh. Yes, what that will do is a personal thing for you to set long-term goals with your friends. So it's a great combination, because you have Saturn there to give longevity. Because Saturn is something that you do want to see when you're looking at like possible love things, because it shows longevity to the relationship. And Mars it's like, sometimes Saturn and Mars can be like this: gas on the pedal, foot on the brake, gas, brake, gas, brake. What you need to do is give the planets a job. You give the planets a job. I'm setting a long-term intention with Saturn and Mars being there and Jupiter to expand, because that's the 11th house, expand my reach, expand my thing in the community, expand my friendships. And that connects with your first house energy of yourself. So you can have better relationships with self and with that 11th house friendships, and you're being known out in the greater world. Does that make sense, Angie? The vertex is a very faded connection that vertex is always on the right-hand side of the chart. Yes, I've heard of the vertex. And it's actually really, it's really good to look at things that are going conjunct on the vertex. Usually when the vertex gets activated, something needs to be going conjunct. It's also used in synastry when you're looking at we're looking at two people's charts. And if you have Venus on someone's vertex, somebody else's Venus on the vertex, it's like, oh, yeah. This could be, the relationship, the one, right? So yes, the vertex is very important, but it's a little hard to get activated because it really needs to be bang on with that conjunction. That's how I view the vertex when I'm using it. It does have its uses. It's very fated energy, but yes. It's hard. Yeah, Saturn can be used to, if some people do have issues with Saturn, you can always give it a job. Because both Saturn and Mars, I'm fortunate Mars is not my most malefic. Usually it's something that energizes me. It depends on what other things you have going on in your chart. But when you set an intention to utilize a planet that's being activated in your chart, you're directing that energy. Otherwise, it's like, where's it going to express itself? You know that it's coming up with a hard aspect, like maybe a square, and you're like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, take a look at the area of the chart and what is the aspecting planet and what is the aspecting house and what that might play into. And then say, okay, I don't want it to be all these horrible things, but I can use it in this way. I want to start a new job. I want to look for a job, something like that. Or I want to have a long-term goal. I want to be able to save for a new home, right? You can set long-term goals with Saturn, and then Mars can give you Mars gives you energy. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's, very egoic energy. I love everybody out there. So, well, I think we've gone. If you have any questions about, some of the houses, I know that the 8th and the 12th are really tricky. And what I would say is, when you do have things there, think about what's going on in your life that might aspect those particular things in those houses, and what other things are talking to it. Oh, talking to Jupiter and Mercury in the car. Yeah. Mercury loves that. Talk to Mercury all the time. I'm a Gemini rising. Yeah. Looking for a sickle. Yep. Well, and Jupiter and Mercury would be a lot of talking in the car. A lot of talking in the car. That's right. Okay, well, I think I will close this out. This has been so delightful, and thank you for showing up. And for the people that will be watching this, I will put a little bit of timestamp on the houses and what they stand for, so that you can maybe go back and look at those when you're setting your new intentions for Sunday morning. And the biggest thing I can tell you about Leo is have fun, enjoy life, love every minute, and or set that intention of what is positive about this moment that I just really love, and how can it get any better? And the universe will always surprise you. It will. So thank you, everyone. And please join us on Friday and Mondays. Fridays at 5, Mondays at 10. Both of those are Eastern times, because we do like to see people getting some information that they might need with those live readings. So goodbye, everyone. I will see you soon. Bye.